So I want you to take a minute and write down these four examples and compare them using less than, greater than, or equal to, and then we're going to go over them in a minute. So our first example, we have 2 and 5600ths times 10 to the positive fifth power, and we're comparing it to 4 and 2/10 times 10 to the negative seventh power. A positive is always greater than a negative. Therefore, 2 and 5600ths times 10 to the positive fifth power is greater than 4 and 2/10 times 10 to the negative seventh power. Looking at the next example, we have 4 and 3/10 times 10 to the positive fourth power and 1 and 6/10 times 10 to the positive sixth power. Since these are both positive exponents, 6 is obviously larger than 4. Therefore, 4 and 3/10 times 10 to the fourth power is less than 1 and 6/10 times 10 to the positive sixth power. The next example, we have two negatives, 7 and 1/10 times 10 to the negative second power, and we're comparing it to 2 and 9/10 times 10 to the negative sixth power. If you look over here, I drew a number line again. 0 is at the top. -2 is closest to 0. -6 is further away. Therefore, 10 to the negative 2 power is greater than 10 to the negative 6 power. Remember, furthest away is smaller. And lastly, we have 5 and 2700ths times 10 to the fifth power, and we're comparing it to 2 and 139,000ths times 10 to the fifth power. Because we have two exponents that are exactly the same, we look at the coefficients, 5 and 2700ths and 2 and 139,000ths. 5 and 2700ths is greater than 2 and 139,000ths. So now we have three examples of ordering the following numbers. So because it doesn't specify, let's go ahead and order all three of these examples from least to greatest. So pause the video, work out these from smallest to largest, and then you're going to check yourself here in a minute. So our first example, I did a number line all the way down to -10. Our first example, if you look at the exponents, we have a -8, a +10, a -8, and a -9. Now that +10, I know that's going to be the greatest value because it's the only positive. So I'm going to save that for the very last. But let's look at our -8 and our -9. As you can see in the number line, -9 is furthest away from -8. So I'm going to stop here, and I know that 8 and 4500ths times 10 to the -9 is my smallest value. Our next smallest value, we have 2 10 to the -8 powers. So what happens when you have two exponents that are exactly the same? You look at their coefficients. Now remember, we're looking for the smallest value. We're going from least to greatest. Therefore, 5 and 1800ths is smaller than 5 and 9100ths. So we're going to write that down next. So as you can see, 5 and 1800ths times 10 to the -8th power would come next, then 5 and 9100ths times 10 to the -8th power. And our greatest value, I had to squeeze it in up here, is 5 and 100ths times 10 to the +10th power. That was our greatest value. So now we're looking at our next example. We have a -2, a -4, a -5, and a -3. All of our exponents are different, and they are all negative. So what we need to do is look then. We have a -2, a -3, a -4, and a -5. We're going from smallest to largest, from furthest away to higher up. So what is furthest away from 0 in this case, our smallest value? That -5. So my video time is about to run out, but you can see that I've listed the answers for the last two examples. So make sure you check yourself